from a slumber on the sofa.
No
Stuart,
ways.
Seems like you've moved in, doesn't it? Does it feel like that to you?
It feels like 5 minutes ago I was on here. Honestly.
Feels like it was. Stuart's here to talk to the fourth of our finalists today, and it is Craig Moore, who is the founder and CEO of Beehive. Now, in the build-up to this, we talked to a number of SMEs who have seen some success here in the UAE. Craig, you were one of those, actually, and then decided, what was the path from being on here? We were talking to you about Beehive at that time, but you obviously decided, well, I think we could have a go at this. Is that how it went?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when we look at the landscape, it's important for us when we're trying to connect to our different customers. And I think when you see awards like this award come up, it's important for us to try to make sure that we're part of that conversation.
Okay. Well, look, we're hoping you're going to get off to a good start today. Make a case for why your business deserves to be recognised. I mean, essentially, Beehive is a peer-to-peer platform, a lending platform. You're an online platform in this region. You're using tech to connect businesses looking for finance with investors. That's how it works. We'll get more on that in a moment. You're going to pitch the idea, first of all, to Stuart in 30 seconds. He will then ask you a number of questions from a set list that he has. If you're listening now thinking, I would like to know more about this, or you want to set Craig a question, you're welcome to get involved, 4001, or you can use the free app to text in or call if you would like to. That's pretty much it, Craig. 30 seconds to pitch your business. Tell us why you deserve to become SME of the Year. Anything else you think we need to know, starting now.
So I guess ultimately we're an SME that's helping other SMEs. So we're trying to create almost to be a catalyst in the economy and create a ripple effect. So if businesses are able to come onto our platform, they're able to raise finance at a competitive rate, and they're able to access that finance quickly, then that allows them to hire more people, expand their operations, potentially maybe go international. And that becomes critical for this region as it looks to expand, it looks to drive innovation. So we really want to be at the centre of helping SMEs, good quality SMEs, grow and expand.
That is 30 seconds. Well played. I'm going to hand over to you now, Stuart. Number of questions to ask. Don't forget, there's 100,000 dirhams of advertising in the balance for the winner here on the across the ARN network. So there is a pretty big prize up for grabs. Stuart, question one.
Absolutely. First thing that grabbed me, 2.5 years old, and the list of the customers that you've done and that you've got, and the connections that you've made. One of the reasons that you're here is I saw a similarity with a lot of the other nominees on here, that you're connecting not only a community, but you're connecting, as you say, SMEs, some people with money and some people with wanting to move forward with an SME. How did it all start? I mean, this is not an easy business to get going, and what were the pitfalls that you fell into?
I think one of the things, whenever you're bringing a new concept to a new market, it's the education. Right? You've got to educate the market. So we knew that there was the demand there. We knew that the SMEs were struggling with some of the cost of finance. They were certainly struggling with the time it was taking them to get finance, typically a couple of months. And as you probably know, as somebody who's built a business, time to finance becomes critically important for SMEs. If there's an opportunity to invest, they want to be able to get access to that cash quickly. So we knew there would be the demand. The investor demand, we suspected there would be the investor demand because we could see a good return for an alternative asset class for investors. But invariably, we had to educate the market. Right? So you had to make sure that people understood how it works, how they engage with the platform. We had to be very transparent. We had to model ourselves on best practices because we came into an unregulated market. So especially when you're dealing with finance and people's money, it's really important that you're very transparent, very open. You take time to explain, and you try to build that public consciousness.
Absolutely. Now, that's it. You're building trust.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so what was the implementation process for building that trust between a high net worth individual and an SME that you've looked at the balance, you've looked at the figures, and you're going, well, this could work.
Yes.
Now, how do you balance, how do you implement that and get that trust between both organizations?
I think that starts with the customer experience, really. So we're quite unusual, I guess, as a business in that we have two customers, essentially. We have the SMEs on one side and we have investors on the other side. Correct. So we've got to make sure that we've got an engagement model that works for both. Typically with investors, it's about making sure that you're providing them with all the type of information they need. They're very comfortable about where their monies are sitting before that money is lent out by them. And actually helping them understand the way the technology platform works, how they can manage that, and how they can feel in control. On the SME side, it's about making their experience as painless as possible, right? So you want them to be able to come to the platform, engage with us. We can kind of handhold those guys through, certainly the earlier businesses. And then as people start to get more confident or come back maybe for a second round of funding, they know exactly how they're going to interact with the platform and how they can make sure that they're getting access to that finance.
You mentioned the technology involved here. So you're talking about crowdfunding. All right, and you're talking about technology affordances. So how do you get that trust as well? Because a lot of technology sometimes falls over. You know, these startups fall over. So how are you getting that trust through to that big market of technology?
Absolutely. So tech is fundamental to what we do. So we needed to make sure that we built enterprise technology from the start. The one thing, whenever you've got a business that's based on technology, you need to build not only the tech, but the processes that wrap around that as well, whether you've got one customer or 1,000 customers. So therefore you have a lot of upfront costs, you have a lot of upfront capability that you have to put in place. And once you've got that, I think people start to feel comfortable that they can go on this platform 24/7, whenever they want, make a bid or take finance.
So that's the transparency.
Absolutely.
You've provided investors with a sound investment and solid return. What is the process of gathering market intelligence in order to drive your business forward for your investors?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that we've really looked to harness, is that we're picking a lot of data points up now in terms of understanding the SME landscape within the UAE. So as we look to pick that data up, that data all feeds into our credit models so that we can understand where a business is, whether it's finance, the amount it's looking for is appropriate, etc. And then we're able to communicate that information to investors, so they can start to get a feel of, you know, if they want to invest in an environmental company or an organic food company or a school. Right? So you start to see investors that are particularly interested in market segments, or they're particularly interested in types of finance as well.
Okay.
Craig Moore is the founder and CEO of Beehive. Craig, I said if anybody has a text, get in touch. It's a nice one for you. I'm an investor on Beehive, have been for over a year. Please pass my compliments to Craig. Practical and well-managed platform. Says your customer service is also good.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Nice thing to say. Barrett,
Yeah.
thank you very much for the text there. We're going to come back, ask you some more questions in a moment. Stuart Fleming's here from EnviroServe, asking the questions of our fourth nominee, Craig Moore, the founder and the CEO of Beehive, which is a peer-to-peer online lending platform using technology to directly connect businesses looking for finance with investors who hopefully can fund their growth.